Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of congregational humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. Thank you for joining us.
So maybe this is an experience kind of unique to seminarians and ministers, but it seems like I have often been asked to describe moments when I have felt, some version of connected, held by love, a spiritual presence, undeniably belonging. Have you ever been asked a question like that? If not, I'm asking it now. See if you can find an answer. When have you, or have you ever, felt you were inextricably, undeniably being held by love or held in the presence of all that is? My answer to this question varies, which allows for the fact that it can change and it can happen anytime, anywhere, in all kinds of circumstances. For me, it almost always includes darkness, being outside, water, stars, lying on my back on the dock on a clear, moonless night, or floating in a lake near midnight with a dome of stars twinkling overhead. Flat out on the ground while a gentle breeze creates music and tall grass around me. These are the times that flood me with a feeling of what it means to be having a human experience in the midst of it all. Your answer may call up as something entirely different, because this experience can really happen anywhere. It's like Walt Whitman's poem about miracles written way back in 1892. He wrote, "Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone that I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table at dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles." I expect you could make a similar list. And what is interesting, again based in my own experience, is that in these moments, I feel both infinitely small and insignificant, and an incredibly important and valuable part of all that is. Curious, eh? Tiny and big at the same time. Insignificant and important simultaneously. In the presence of something so much larger than me, yet knowing that all that is attending to tiny little me at the same time. Present to all that surrounds me, and in the presence of all that is. All that is has for some years been a phrase that for me captures what others might mean when they use words like God or mystery or spirit. It recognizes that there's something I can know and so much more that I cannot. That what I can see and feel is just a small part of it all. It's both tangible and elusive, infinite and finite, decipherable and mysterious, mortal and immortal, all at the same time. All that is, ever has been, ever will be. Could it be that inviting awareness of all that is into one's life could offer meaningful perspective, both humility and empowerment, maybe even comfort? I suggest that it could. But how? It comes as no surprise, I suppose, that to talk about being present to talk about the present or being in the presence of something else must include some awareness of the practice of mindfulness, of paying attention. Stoicism and Epicureanism and Buddhism and even Romanticism focused to varying degrees and in different ways on being mindful. So this is nothing new, and yet it can elude us. It's so easy to forget to pay attention or to be distracted to pay it, or too distracted to pay attention. Indeed, I find that it can be easy to choose distraction over attention, avoidance over clear-eyed views, fiction over reality. These things are easy, entertaining. They don't require much of me. So why should I do the work of paying attention? Well, like Peter, the boy in the story, there's so much we can miss. For him, what was missed were moments in a life, and meaningful moments are indeed what creates a meaningful life. But what I want to say today is that what can go missing without paying attention is the experience of knowing that one belongs, of being held, which one would think would be so incredibly compelling that we turn to it all the time, and yet we don't. I spent Thanksgiving afternoon with some of my family, including a niece and her two little ones, 7 months and 2.5. Two tiny beings who are exceptionally, if I do say so myself, exceptionally chill and good-natured. Still, you know how it is when little ones are overstimulated and in the presence of more people than usual, more noise, more food, more temptations. They can't seem to turn themselves off. They can't get comfort. Can I hold you? No. Are you tired? No. Do you want to cuddle? No, not right now. There's too much going on. And then comes that magical moment when there's just the right combination of factors, when they finally succumb to just being in the presence of it all. Turning off all the reactivity to stimuli, when they simply relax into a place of comfort and acceptance. It's like they meld with all that is. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You're safe. You're held. I've got you. It's a little bit like pulling on a golden thread that's always available to us, that can transport us to a place of safety and belonging and love. Could we imagine that it's possible to find and be in that space any time, at any age, to remember our place in it all, to trust that we matter and that we're loved, that even when things are swirling around us that are unfamiliar, they're too loud, they're too demanding, we can find solid ground beneath us and know that we are held in place by gravity, we're held up by the earth, we're lifted up by the moon and the sun, even in times like this, when it seems that so much is unraveling. It's not about ignoring what's happening. It's not about trying to shut out all the bad stuff. It's not about pretending that everything's going to turn out all right. It's about saying, look, all this is true. Across time, across space, there's joy and there's suffering, there's pain and there's comfort. There's evil, and there's goodness, there's ease, and there's friction. There's all of this. And yet, here I am. Here I am, held, embraced, part of all of it, present to and present with and in the presence of all of it. Jack Petranker, who's the director of the Center for Creative Inquiry in Berkeley, writes about a kind of mindfulness he calls active presence. Now, this is not the kind of mindfulness that's therapeutic, which is the kind that invites us to let go of the past and the future. It's not about the kind of mindfulness that's joyful, which calls us to fully appreciate all the possible rich experiences and wonders around us. It's not even about that kind of mindfulness that might connect us to a broader sense of what it means to just inhabit the present moment. All these kinds of mindfulness can be helpful for sure. But active presence, he writes, is being open and attentive to the multiple dimensions of our experience. Open and attentive, seeing the whole world as we understand it to be, so we can act accordingly, which allows us to choose who and what we will be in response. What values will guide us, what commitments we'll make, what impact we wish to have. Petranker quotes Seneca, the Stoic Roman philosopher who lived at about the same time of Jesus, as saying, "Toti se inserens mundo," or plunging oneself into the totality of the world. Now, there's a surefire way to be present to all that is, right? Plunging oneself in. It takes courage sometimes, for sure. Being willing to go all in and hold nothing back, to plunge in, to surrender into all of it. There's such an interesting conundrum here, as seems true too often, that by not avoiding, by willingly experiencing what might feel dangerous or at least unwanted, that we then have the opportunity to be immersed in a wholeness that eludes us until we actually jump in. We're not in it unless we're in it, fully, mind, body, spirit. The late, great Catholic feminist theologian Rosemary Radford Ruther was one of my seminary professors. She used to say that every paper needed to answer the question, so what? Talk about all this stuff all you want, but so what? So, all of this, so what? So this is not some erudite bit of imagination. I don't think this is a woo-woo expression of a fantasy existence. I really believe that to be fully human is to be fully immersed in all that is, in everything that surrounds us. And to be fully immersed in our existence, held in all that is to be able to be actively present in our lives, choosing who and what and how we will live in relationship to everything and everyone around us. I'll let Mary Oliver have the last word. Here's her poem, Mindful. Every day, I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in a haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. Oh, good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world, the ocean's shine, the prayers that are made out of grass. Oh, good scholars, let it be so.
Thanks for listening. You can find much more about humanism and what's happening at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis by visiting our website at firstunitarian.org.